Hello, all you folks out there in YouTube land. You may have noticed that we're running well behind this week, and yet more internet squirreliness isn't helping. On the upside, it means I had a bit more time to push through the balance of this week's game, a point-and-click adventure called The Book of Unwritten Tales. It's a bit of an older game again, but it came to me in a bundle of games that was trumpeted as having female protagonists. This isn't untrue, but she does have to share the spotlight a bit with a gnome, a pink critter thing, and a smart-assed human male. The game's sense of humor comes from a complex interplay of myriad modern fantasy references from Chris Tinker Gnomes, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, Discworld, and even a quick sark at Star Wars. Some of the strangest combinations of actions start making sense in context, and somehow I was drawn to just giggle at it and move on to the next oddly wonderful thing. No, I didn't see as much of Evo as I might have liked, but the rest of the characters had charms all their own. Wilbur, in particular, is enchanting both in his bumbling avit and his insistence on staying the course, regardless of his obstacles. The man, Captainet, starts as a shitheel, and over the course of his trials manages to raise himself up to the dizzying heights of sarky asshole. He does his bit, though, and although I didn't like him as a person, he is brilliantly written as a character. Wilbur grows a lot over the course of the game, but Ivo not as much. Critter is, well, critter. I'm still not entirely sure what it is supposed to be, but it was a lot of fun to work with for the time I got to. Most of the game was spent in dealing with a long puzzle for a single character, and each got their turn. After you get them together, you cannot just stick to one character. All the characters are required for the puzzles that they attend, and you're not getting out of it. Bet is strong, Ivo athletic, and Wilbur's, well, short and stubborn. I can't say a lot without spoilers, and this is a game that has to be experienced in some way. Spoilers here would positively ruin it. I've a long history with this sort of game, and I found the puzzles almost demonically difficult. One of the things I found rather nice about the world was the explanation for why the world is so empty. You learn in the first few minutes that there's a massive war on, and everything else follows from there. I'm betting you can work out what the goal of the game is from there. At the end, the storytelling is much better than passable. The logic is a bit strange, but it gives you a very satisfying challenge getting through things. There are some points in which it can get frustrating, but those moments are reasonably few and far between. The voice acting could have been a bit better, and the writing could be cleaned up some, but on the whole it's solid. Graphically, the character models are serviceable against the nicely modeled backgrounds. Lots of fun stuff running about and bits of incidental movement here and there puts the finishing touches on a well-crafted world. The Book of Unwritten Tales handily earns a score of 9 out of a possible 10. It is solidly built, pretty, and well written, even if some of that isn't quite up to snuff. Voice acting could use a bit of improvement in my opinion, but I have no major complaints compared to any of the other games like it I've played. For a genre of game that is considered mostly dead, this game is a fun little romp off to save the world, more or less literally. I cannot recommend this game enough. It drops no anvils, tells its story, and leaves you wishing they'd hurry up and release a sequel. Speaking of Nordic games and the Adventure Company, you might want to get on that. I'm not a patient lady, and I want to see what you come up with next time. I apologize for the short review this time, but I promise I told you what I could without ruining it. If you like what we're doing here, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to support this channel and our content, spread the word. In the social media links below, you will find a Patreon link. Please consider it, as every little bit helps. Thank you for your time, and above all, thank you for watching. We really do promise to get a capture card and some modern games to cover when we can afford it. Let's make games fun again.